Hello friends, myself Pratiksha Patil. I am assistant professor teaching at the D.Y. Patil College of Engineering, and I am teaching engineering mechanics. So first of all, for the Pune University, Savitribai Phule University, first unit for the mechanics is the resolution and composition of the forces. In that contain, as per the syllabus, first is the introduction, laws of mechanics, Lami's theorem, what is parallelogram law, what is principle of transmissibility, what is force system, and then finally we are going to study about what is the resolution and composition of the forces. Now what is the branches of the mechanics? So what is the mechanics? Mechanics is the branch of the physics which deals with the motion of the object. That motion comes under the static or dynamic condition. So these are the branches of the mechanics. One is the solid mechanics, second one is the fluid mechanics. So as concern of the first year, we are only going to study solid mechanics in that rigid bodies. So rigid body is again divided into two parts. One is the static, second one is the dynamic. Dynamic again divided into two parts, that is the kinematics and the kinetics. What is static? Static body is at the rest condition. Dynamic body in the motion. So again body is in motion, that means it deals with again two forces. One is the kinetics, another one is the kinematics. Kinetics, where we are thinking for the cause of the motion, and kinematics we are not going to think for the cause of the motion. That means we are going to study about the velocity and acceleration of the bodies. Second one is the laws of the mechanics. So laws of the mechanics, Newton's law. So what Newton say? First law of the mechanics, body is in the rest unless and until force is applied. Second law, that is the force is proportional to the mass and the acceleration. And third law of the mechanics, every action has the equal and opposite reaction. So you know very well this person, Newton's, who initiate with the laws of the mechanics. Then the Lami's theorem. Lami's is if the particle acted upon the three forces. So firstly, the Lami's is only applicable for the body who's having subjected to only three forces. So Lami's theorem is also known as the laws of science. See, Lami's is applicable only if body must be concurrent, that is all the forces passing from the same point. Body should be in the equilibrium. All the forces in the body having the same direction and one angle, and all the three forces must be known, or vice versa. So this is the formula. A divided by sine alpha is equal to B divided by sine beta is equal to C, proportional to the sine gamma. Then principle of transmissivity. It says, according to this law, the states of the rest and the motion of the rigid body is unalternate if the force acting on the body is replaced by the another force of the same magnitude and direction, but acting anywhere on the body along the line of action of the replaced force. That means कोई बॉडी का लाइन ऑफ एक्शन पे किसी जगह पे एक फोर्स एक्ट होता है, तो सेम फोर्स और या फिर कोई दूसरा फोर्स सेम लाइन ऑफ एक्शन पे एक्ट होता है दूसरे पॉइंट पे, तो दोनों की वैल्यू सेम होती है. दैट इज कॉल्ड एज द प्रिंसिपल ऑफ ट्रांसमिसिबिलिटी. Next we are studying about the basic laws. So parallelogram. So parallelogram law says state and it applicable for the state and the rest of the rigid body, motion of the rigid body. If forces acting on the body is replaced by the another force having the same magnitude and the direction, but acting anywhere on the body along the line of action replaced by the force. This is the formula to derive the resultant for the parallelogram law, under root of p square plus q square plus 2pq cos theta. And this is the direction. In mechanics, for finding out the angle, that there is a word called as the direction. That is, the tan alpha is equal to q sin theta divided by p plus q cos theta. Now what is force system? Basically, force is the vector quantity which having a both magnitude and direction. And force system, when all the forces acting on the body simultaneously acting on the body, if we clutter that forces, called as the force system. Basically, it is a bunch of forces. So best example is the seesaw, where we are seeing the two persons, their weight, one balanced weight is there, gravitational forces are there. That means on the one body there are number of forces is acting, called as the force system. Force system is again divided into coplanar and non-coplanar. Coplanar forces, force acting on the same plane. Non-coplanar, forces acting on the different plane. So coplanar again divided into 4 types. One is the collinear, forces acting on the same line of action. Parallel forces, forces acting parallel to each other. Concurrent, forces coming out from the same point. Non-concurrent, forces coming from the different point, but on the same plane, called as the coplane. Non-coplanar, forces acting on the different point. In that only 3 types are there. Collinear not comes under the non-coplanar force system. Parallel forces, non-coplanar concurrent forces, and non-coplanar non-concurrent forces. What is resolution and composition? Resolution means it is the splitting of the force or breaking of the force along the x and y direction is called as the resolution of force. What is resultant? Just like your class head, which represent head of the class. Resultant means it represents the head of the all forces. That is the net force acting on the body by combining all the vector, all the forces. So composition of the forces, again all the forces are there in the system and we are clutter them into one system is called as the composition of the forces. Then types of, as we are seeing the what is concurrent force system. So how to find the resultant of concurrent system, how to represent there the single force, all forces clutter, called as the resultant. So these are the methods. First one is a graphical method, where we are plotting the forces along the x and y direction, we are measuring the forces. Analytical method, in that we are using the parallelogram law, triangles law, Lami's theorem, for finding out the resultant force. Resolution and composition, again we are splitted all the inclined forces, then we are clutter them together, represent in the formula R is equal to, R represent the resultant, under root of sum of all forces in the x direction, their square, plus sum of the all forces in the y direction, their square. This is the resolution method. Then types to find out the resultant for non-concurrent. Non-concurrent forces comes, or forces represent in the different plane or different points. So one is the coplanar forces. These are the resultant. So coplanar forces, forces acting on the same parallel, acting in the same direction, forces intersecting on a one point. It's a concurrent force system. Thank you. Have a nice day.